So right now, as you're watching this, 4 human beings are hurtling through the void of space further than any person has ever been before. And in a few days, they have to come home. The only thing standing between them and a 5,000 degree inferno is a heat shield that already failed once. And I'm not being dramatic, I really wish I was. On April 1st, 2026, NASA lit the fuse. The Artemis 2 mission launched 4 astronauts, Commander Reed Weissman, pilot Victor Glover, and mission specialist Christina Hammock, and the Canadian mission specialist Jeremy Hansen, toward the moon. Guys, welcome back to Hangar Stories. I'm Ben, and today I'm genuinely conflicted because what we're witnessing right now is one of the most thrilling moments in space history and one of the most nerve-wracking. Again, it has been over 53 years since humans last walked on the moon, and hopefully we haven't lost our ability on how to do it. Most people who like to believe that humans haven't been to the moon seldom realize that there wasn't just one mission, but 6 crewed successful landing missions to the moon, and the final one being Apollo 17. That's a total of 12 astronauts that have set foot on that moon. So guys, it's not just Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin making things up. You're gonna have to go and make all 12 of them swear on the Bible. Just a little pointer there.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? And a liar and a thief.
The focus is a little different as of now for us going back. China, Russia, and the United States are all racing to the South Pole of the moon at this time. Why the South Pole, you may ask? Well, because there's frozen water there, which you don't find a lot of on the moon. Speaking of which, I've actually never heard of astronauts heading to the moon for a beach vacation. No sunscreen, no waves, just vibes in a vacuum. But hey, who knows? Maybe there's a massive hidden ocean with beautiful gray sandy beaches that NASA's been keeping under wraps. Now, honestly, if that's the case, I think it might be easier to fake a moon mission than explain why no one packed a swimsuit. But as exciting as this is, I've got to be honest, there's a big technical shadow hanging over this mission, specifically the heat shield. And it's something we need to talk about. So let's break it down. Artemis 2 is the ultimate test flight. It's not landing on the moon, that's Artemis 3, but it's proving that NASA's deep space system can actually keep humans alive. The rocket is the Space Launch System, SLS. It's a beast, producing 8.8 million pounds of thrust, while SpaceX's Starship technically has more raw power. The SLS is currently the most powerful rocket in the world, certified to carry humans. Sitting on top is the Orion spacecraft, which the crew has nicknamed Integrity. And just to clarify, the Orion spacecraft is not the same as Starliner, the one built by Boeing that had a lot of problems. Orion was built by Lockheed Martin, so hopefully there's not too many technical issues. A cool thing NASA decided to add was an escape capsule. You know, just in case you're not in the mood to be slow roasted at 5,000 degrees. I just thought that was kind of a nice touch. Let's talk about the journey. Mission profile is incredible. After testing systems in high Earth orbit, the crew will perform a translunar injection burn to slingshot toward the moon. They aren't just going 2,300 miles though. They're actually expected to reach a record-breaking 252,799 miles from Earth, the furthest any human has ever traveled into the cosmos. And the team? As we've previously mentioned, it's a solid crew. This is a massive international movement. But here is my concern. The most critical part of this mission is the 10-day mark. Coming home. I've been watching several interviews by former NASA engineers who have raised serious concerns about the safety regarding the Orion capsule's heat shield.
I have to say, from the data I've seen with regard to this heat shield, if I had to rate it A, B, C, D, I'd rate it an F.
You'd rate it an F?
It's an F. It's a clear F. Clear. And there's no way you put crew on an F heat shield. You are just tempting fate. Pieces of heat shield coming off mean that you're close to complete failure. You're at the edge of a cliff on a foggy day, and you don't know which way to move. You might go off the cliffs. In fact, actually, one argument NASA made after Artemis 1 was the vehicle survived. Okay, you didn't quite go off the cliff this time, but you're close.
I lost 3 classmates, 7 friends on Columbia. And so, I get very emotional. I understand we take risks, but we don't have to take unnecessary risks. And I'm praying for the crew because I don't want to see that happen.
When Orion finally hits the atmosphere, it'll be moving at 25,000 miles per hour. That creates temperatures north of 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than molten lava. To survive, Orion uses an ablative material called Avcoat, dense epoxy silica material embedded in a honeycomb or block system that's designed to burn away and carry the heat with it. This technology, however, is over 55 years old. During the uncrewed Artemis 1 mission in 2022, The heat shield, let's just say, had a few concerns. The flight data revealed that while the heat shield successfully protected the capsule, the avcoat material did not behave exactly as predicted. Specifically, engineers found more than 100 locations where the charred outer layer cracked and broke off in small chunks, a phenomenon called char liberation or spallation, rather than gradually eroding away. Now, here's the part that fascinates me. NASA didn't change the heat shield for this mission, it was already built. Instead, they changed how they fly. For Artemis 1, they use a skip re-entry, dipping in and out of the atmosphere like a stone on a pond. For Artemis 2, they've switched to a steeper direct re-entry. The goal is to spend less time in the danger zone where the charring happens. It's a shorter, more intense ride for the crew, but NASA believe it's the safest way to protect the heat shield. So let's compare NASA and SpaceX's heat shield. SpaceX uses Pica X on their Dragon capsule, which instead of an epoxy silica foam like Avcoat, Pica X is made of a carbon phenolic material which is much lighter and can withstand higher heat fluxes than older ablators. But Avcoat is generally better suited for the higher velocity re-entry. NASA's approach is conservative and data-backed, but as we saw in Artemis 1, even proven tech can sometimes surprise you when you're hitting the atmosphere at lunar speeds. There's some debate on if this is still the safer option. SpaceX is also moving away from traditional ablative materials for Starship and focusing on more fully reusable TPS or thermal protection systems engineered for rapid turnaround between flights. The system is made of roughly 18,000 hexagonal tiles composed of toughened silica ceramic derived from tough rock, toughened unipiece fibrous reusable oxidation-resistant ceramic, allowing the vehicle to endure extreme re-entry temperatures without sacrificing the material. The hexagonal geometry is intentional, since it eliminates long, continuous seams where superheated plasma could zipper through and compromise the structure. Unlike the Space Shuttle's adhesive-mounted tiles, Starship's tiles are mechanically secured using steel studs and pins welded directly to the 300 series stainless steel hull, and allowing for thermal expansion without detachment. Beneath each tile sits a flexible, high-temperature insulation blanket, which acts as both a thermal barrier and a cushioning layer to protect the hull from heat transfer and mechanical stress. So the crew is up there right now, trusting their lives to those engineering calculations. It's a reminder that spaceflight is never routine, but I'm hopeful that everything's going to work out just fine. We don't want to relive any of those previous disasters. I don't think our nation has the heart to take another NASA catastrophe, and I'm hoping the leadership of Jared Isaacman, NASA's new director, is going to put safety first, hopefully building up a steady cadence and innovation as well. So I think this is all very interesting, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Does the change in the re-entry trajectory make you feel better about the heat shield, or do you think we should have waited for a full redesign? Let me know in the comments. I'm Ben, and I'll see you in the next one as we track this mission home.